WNBA All-Star Game and All-Star Weekend will be in Indiana this year.
Indiana is about to become the hub of the entire WNBA season. Not just because of Caitlin Clark, but because the 2025 All-Star Game and the full All-Star Weekend will take place right here. An event of this scope, this heat, and this much potential controversy, we've never seen anything like it. But this isn't simply a party. It might be the most competitive stage of the season. Who genuinely deserves a spot? Who's going to get ignored despite all the media hype? And could this be the moment certain names try to claw back their waning spotlight? Who do you think will own the All-Star stage this year? Stick around till the finish. We're breaking down the most worthy candidates, the surprise choices, and the ones who honestly might just need to sit this one out.
And it seems that one of the sponsors involved with the WNBA All-Star festivities, more specifically the three-point contest, they're doing what they can to try to get Caitlin Clark to, I guess, get involved with this contest, because they have put a hell of a lot more money into the coffers, the hopper.
It's no surprise that this year's WNBA All-Star three-point contest is suddenly saturated with cash. One of the key sponsors is doing everything they can to get Caitlin Clark engaged, and they're not being discreet about it. They've upped the prize money, loaded the pot like they're asking, "Caitlin, come elevate this entire event." Because let's be serious, her appearance alone would sell tickets, spike views, and blow up social media. But the biggest takeaway, if it takes a rookie to light up the entire All-Star Weekend, maybe the WNBA needs to take a close look at who's actually rescuing the show this year.
The WNBA is improving its pitch to get Caitlin Clark to participate in her first professional three-point contest. The Women's National Basketball Association announced Thursday that it is raising prize money awarded by sponsor Aflac for the WNBA's three-point contest to $60,000, which matches the first place prize winnings for the NBA's competition. The difference, however,
Caitlin Clark entering this year's three-point event. By upping the prize to $60,000, on pace with the NBA, they're not simply enhancing the event's worth, but sending a direct invitation to the league's ratings queen. No rookie has ever made the system bend merely to assure their participation. This says volumes about Caitlin's great appeal and indicates she's actively influencing how the WNBA runs, both on the floor and in its business initiatives. This is no longer a league that's inviting her in. It's becoming a league that wants her to shine.
The difference, however, is that the WNBA's prize is given via a sponsor, whereas the NBA's is written into the CBA. Additionally, the NBA rewards other participants ranging from $10,000 for the last place up to $40,000 for the runner-up. The total purse is $195,000. That's more than
While the WNBA is trying to catch up to the NBA by upping its three-point contest prize to $60,000, the difference is still painfully visible. In the NBA, prize money is built into the collective bargaining agreement, CBA, ensuring compensation for all competitors. However, in the WNBA, the award depends solely on sponsorship. It doesn't stop there. NBA participants get rewarded across the board: $10,000 for last place, $40,000 for the runner-up, with a total prize fund of $195,000. That's over 3 times more than what the WNBA offers. So even while the league is striving to level up to keep rising players like Caitlin Clark, there's still a huge gap to close if the WNBA truly intends to create a fair and professional playing field.
According to the WNBA CBA, the three-point contest winner receives $2,575, meaning this year's first prize is actually $62,575. However, the remaining participants don't get a share of the sponsored prize pool and receive just $1,030. So if you're the runner-up, you're watching whoever wins get $62,575, and you're sitting there with over $1,000. That's interesting.
If you think the WNBA is creating a more even playing field with this year's three-point contest award, take a closer look. According to the CBA, The winner gets $2,575 plus the $60,000 sponsor bonus, bringing the total to $62,575. Sounds impressive, until you discover the remainder of the contestants walk away with just $1,030. No prize for the runner-up, no equitable distribution. You come in second. Congrats. You just watch the individual next to you collect nearly $60,000 as you quietly stroll home with just $1,000. That kind of margin isn't just problematic, it makes the whole event feel like a lottery where only one individual matters. If the WNBA truly wants to professionalize All-Star Weekend, then it's time to start showing respect to everyone who enters into the competition.
Number of WNBA three-point participants is not set, but there were just 5 players last year. If that continues this season, the total purse would be $66,695.
There were just, however, last year, only 5 players competed. If that amount remained the same this year, the total prize pool would be roughly $66,695. Sounds like a big number, until you break it down and find that virtually all of it goes to just one individual. This setup strips the contest of fairness and the spirit of mutual appreciation that an all-star level event should encourage. If the WNBA truly wants to elevate the league and motivate the next generation of players, it needs more than just recognizing one star. It needs equitable investment, transparency, and respect for everyone who goes onto that platform.
WNBA All-Star prize money is another point in the growing list of issues the league and players must agree on during their CBA negotiations. The WNBA opted out of the current CBA in October, and a new deal, if ratified, will kick in by the 2026 season. You can expect all this to go up once the actual media TV rights deal kicks in, the new one. Now, how much? I don't know.
All-Star prize money is only one of several rising concerns that the WNBA and its players will need to address in the forthcoming CBA discussions. The league's decision to opt out of the present agreement back in October is a clear statement that the old parameters no longer reflect the rate of expansion or the expectations around the game today. A new CBA, if signed, would take effect starting with the 2026 season, and it's certain to bring big changes, especially after the league's huge media and TV rights contract formally kicks in. When that happens, we can expect not just greater rewards, but also a shift in player leverage and visibility. The fundamental question is, will the WNBA actually spread the pie equally or simply boost items to polish its public image?
Clark did not join last year's contest, even though the winner's prize money was raised to $57,575, with $55,000 coming from Aflac. So Aflac tried to get her in last year, in other words. Last season was the first time a sponsor supplemented the league's prize money, which also included $55,000 for the Skills Challenge winner, but the announcement of the increase came just one day before competition. So they're getting it out there.
The fact that Caitlin Clark didn't compete in last year's three-point tournament, even after the prize money was boosted up to $57,575, with $55,000 of that coming from sponsor Aflac, speaks volumes. Big brands noticed her potential early on and were willing to put real money on the table to get her engaged. But the news came just one day before the competition, too rushed, too late, and certainly not enough to pull her in. It also marked the first time the WNBA authorized a sponsor to directly enhance prize money, not just for the three-point contest, but for the Skills Challenge as well. And this year, the message is clear: they're not waiting until the last minute. They're planning early because they know that if Caitlin Clark turns up, the event quickly becomes a spectacle.
While it hasn't been confirmed whether Clark will participate in this year's contest, it appears to be part of the plan. The NBA was reportedly, Adam Silver tried to lure her over to the NBA contest during its All-Star Weekend in February, akin to Steph Curry versus Sabrina Ionescu shootout last year, but Clark declined. According to ESPN, Clark wants her first three-point contest to be this season with the WNBA. So ESPN's reporting that she's going to be in it.
While there's still no official confirmation, all indicators point to Caitlin Clark joining this year's WNBA All-Star three-point contest. What's even more interesting is that the NBA, purportedly Adam Silver personally, wanted to recruit her for their All-Star weekend back in February, aiming for a Steph Curry versus Sabrina Ionescu-like battle. But Clark declined. Why? Because she wants her first ever professional three-point contest to happen in the WNBA, the league she's fighting to elevate from within. ESPN has stated that she will participate this season, and if that's true, this won't just be a contest, it'll be a media earthquake. Not everyone turns down the NBA to build up the WNBA, but Caitlin Clark does, and that's what makes her different.
The 2025 WNBA All-Star festivities will be hosted by Clark in the Indiana Fever this year, July 18th, 19th, Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. So, I mean, ESPN is saying that she's going to jump in this thing.
There couldn't be a more perfect platform for Caitlin Clark to make her All-Star debut, because the entire 2025 WNBA All-Star festivities will take place in her own backyard, Gainbridge Fieldhouse, home of the Indiana Fever, on July 18th and 19th. This isn't merely a sporting event. It's a formal welcome for the star who's reshaping the WNBA. And with ESPN saying that Caitlin would compete in the three-point contest, it's almost inevitable that the 2025 All-Star Weekend will become the most anticipated event in league history. She's not only the host, she's the reason the entire sports world is counting down to July.
I would have been so shocked if she'd have decided not to have done it, considering the All-Star game is going to be in Indianapolis, you know, and everything's going on. It's going to be very big for the Indiana Fever, basketball, sports, that entire weekend. Can you imagine the frenzy? The amount of eyeballs that are going to tune in to watch Caitlin Clark in a three-point contest?
If Caitlin Clark didn't compete in this year's All-Star, that would have been the big shock. The event is taking place right in Indianapolis, the heart of Indiana Fever, where she's not just a player, but a symbol, a beacon of hope, the one dragging an entire city into the pulse of pro basketball. The 2025 All-Star Weekend isn't only a sports event. It's a basketball culture festival, and all eyes will be on Caitlin Clark. The three-point contest won't be just another item in the schedule. It'll be the primary attraction nationwide. The instant she steps on that floor, social media, TV, and the media world will erupt. This isn't about whether she should join. It's a momentous moment for her and for the entire league.
It would be interesting if the skills competition and three-point contest could actually beat the All-Star game. I doubt it would, because Caitlin Clark would be playing in the All-Star game.
It wouldn't be surprised if this year's three-point and skills competitions end up snatching the spotlight from the actual All-Star game. With Caitlin Clark involved, even a so-called side event becomes must-watch TV, pulling in millions of viewers. That said, let's not forget, Caitlin will also be playing in the main All-Star game. As the hometown star, taking part in both individual contests and the showpiece duel, the entire All-Star weekend will revolve around her. At this stage, there's no clear distinction between main and secondary events. Anything featuring Caitlin Clark is the main event. Caitlin Clark's star power isn't only raising herself, it's drawing her entire Indiana Fever squad into the spotlight. Names like Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston are nearly definite all-star selections, given to their outstanding play and growing fan support. But what's even more remarkable is how some of her other colleagues are suddenly growing in popularity, simply because they now share a jersey with Caitlin. This isn't just about surfing the wave, it's obvious confirmation that Caitlin Clark is redefining the entire image of the Indiana Fever, converting a previously unnoticed team into one of the most talked about franchises in the league. And the 2025 All-Star Game might just be the moment that cements that transition, not just for Caitlin, but for everyone around her. The one that definitely springs to mind that everybody I'm sure is thinking of is everybody wants to witness Sabrina Ionescu face Caitlin Clark. That's what I want to see. Sabrina Ionescu versus Caitlin Clark. That's what I want to see. Sabrina Ionescu versus Caitlin Clark. Just hearing their names side by side is enough to get fans pumped. This isn't just a three-point contest. It's a symbolic confrontation between two of the greatest shooters in the WNBA right now, when skill, calmness, and elite-level competition will be pushed to the ultimate maximum. If this battle happens, All-Star 2025 won't just be an event, it'll be a historic occasion, and we're not missing a second of it. From deep investigations to live reactions, we'll be covering it all. Make sure to hit that follow button and stay tuned for the future videos, because the WNBA drama, action, and excellence are only getting started.